There are moments on live television that feel big, but then there are moments that feel personal. So personal that you can almost feel the weight of someone's story behind every breath. And that's exactly what's been happening with Robert Irwin on Dancing with the Stars. What most people didn't know is that every time he steps onto that stage, he carries two things with him. Two things that keep his dad, Steve Irwin, closer than ever. Robert recently revealed something that stunned fans, not because it was dramatic, but because it was simple. Every Tuesday, long before the cameras roll, long before the judges take their seats, he puts on one specific shirt. It's an old button-down that belonged to his father. Not a clean, polished version made to look vintage, but the real thing. The shirt still has tiny holes from years of wildlife rescues, frayed edges, and buttons that never got replaced. Robert repaired it himself, but he kept the imperfections because, as he said, each one tells a story. And when he slips it on, it feels like a hug from the dad he lost when he was just 2 years old. What makes it even more emotional is the ritual behind it. Before every performance, he warms up in that shirt. He rehearses in it. He runs through the dance at least once, alone, wearing the same fabric his dad used to wear while teaching the world about wildlife. By the time viewers see the dance, Robert has already performed it privately with his dad's memory wrapped around him. He says it keeps him grounded, keeps him close to home, and reminds him exactly why he's doing all of this. But the shirt is only half the story. The other item he carries is even more symbolic, a ring he crafted himself out of keys from his childhood home. When going through Steve's old office, he found the keys tucked away. Instead of leaving them untouched, he melted them down and shaped them into a ring. On it is the number tied to Australia Zoo, 1638 Steve Irwin Way. It's not just jewelry. It's a piece of the life he grew up in, forged from memories that shaped him. Every time he wears it, he's carrying the place Steve built and the mission his family continues. Together, the shirt and the ring have become quiet reminders of his purpose. Because Robert isn't just dancing to win a Maribel trophy. He's dancing with intention, with heart, and with the legacy of a man whose influence he still feels every day. He said this experience has changed his life, and he wants his father to be part of that journey in any way possible. And there's one person who understands that feeling more than anyone: his mother, Terry Irwin. When she saw what Robert did with the keys, she left a message full of pride. She said Steve would be chuffed, that he would have loved it, and that the meaning behind the ring was incredibly special. To her, it wasn't just about the object itself. It was about the way Robert carries his dad's spirit through every challenge, every milestone, every new chapter. But this season wasn't only about honoring Steve. In one of the most emotional episodes yet, Robert dedicated a dance entirely to Terry. The song he chose was You'll Be in My Heart by Phil Collins, a song already packed with emotion. As the performance ended, Terry walked onto the stage and Robert couldn't hold back the tears. It was one of the rawest moments of the season. Afterward, he explained why that moment hit so deeply. When he lost his dad, he was too young to understand the world-changing impact Steve had made. But as he grew older and learned more about the legacy his parents built together, he also realized something important. His mom kept everything alive. She raised him and Bindi with strength, compassion, and a determination to protect the mission she and Steve started. She handled the grief privately while defending the wildlife programs, managing the zoo, and supporting two kids who were growing up in the public eye. Robert said he's never been able to fully express how grateful he is for her. Every time he wished his dad could be there, Terry was. She showed up for every milestone, every birthday, every heartbreak, every success. And dedicating that dance to her was his way of saying thank you for being the anchor he needed when he didn't even know he needed one. What stands out about Robert's journey is how authentic it is. None of this feels staged or rehearsed. It's not a storyline created for TV. It's real. His connection to his parents, the weight of his father's legacy, the gratitude he feels toward his mother, it all shows in every performance, every interview, every quiet moment where he shares a piece of his heart with the world. And through all of it, he remains committed to what matters most: conservation. Before anything else, he's an animal advocate, following in Steve's footsteps. That's why this competition isn't just a personal accomplishment. It's a platform, a way to bring attention to the work he and his family continue at Australia's zoo. A chance to remind the world that Steve's mission didn't end. It transformed. It grew, and Robert is one of the people carrying it forward. The Irwin family story has always been one of resilience. They faced unimaginable loss, public pressure, and the responsibility of protecting an entire conservation movement. Yet, somehow, they've done it with compassion, strength, and unity. Robert's keepsakes are symbols of that strength. Pieces of a legacy that didn't fade even when the world lost Steve far too soon. And as Robert moves toward the finals, everyone watching can feel the emotion behind his steps. It's not about perfect scores or flashy choreography. It's about honoring the past while pushing into the future. It's about dancing with purpose, dancing with memory, dancing with the belief that love doesn't disappear. It just finds new ways to show up. Robert Irwin isn't just part of his father's legacy. He's shaping his own. And every time he steps onto that stage wearing those two small reminders, he carries not just the spirit of Steve Irwin, but the entire story of a family built on love, courage, and a mission that continues to inspire the world.